This is very funny. Jamaal Bowman. I haven't seen Matt, Brendan. Have you guys seen any polls on this?
I don't think there is any polling.
I don't know if there's any polling. You get the sense that this is a real race. And there are some great candidates, I'll say, in New York that I want to shout out. Isaiah James is a great candidate. CMLA Lopez is a great candidate. I like and have interviewed Lauren Ashcroft a lot. Jamaal Bowman, I think he might be in position here to take Eliot Engel out. We were talking earlier or yesterday about some of the different types of challenges between how you basically how sort of left insurgent candidates are running. And a major problem that still exists and won't be solved is until you have candidates basically running on solid economic left agendas that can win in competitive districts and start to say what the Blue Dogs used to be able to say to the Democratic leadership, which is like, look, we're winning in competitive districts. This district would go another way if not for me. This is frankly, this is something that Sherrod Brown can say as a senator from Ohio. And the fact that he outperforms Democrats in Ohio is very significant and something to learn from. But it does look like, and we have some records showing, of course, the most famous is AOC's great win over Joe Crowley, that serious challengers can take out machine Democrats in safe blue districts possibly, which, again, is not at all welcomed by House Democratic leadership. They would infinitely prefer the Joe Crowleys and Eliot Engels of the world to the Jamaal Bowmans or Ocasio-Cortezes. And this is also why we need to pay very close attention to Rashida Tlaib. There's a machine candidate with a lot of corporate backing that is challenging her, and it's very important to keep her in Congress. But this race is serious. Bowman is, again, just a very impressive candidate. And Eliot Engel, even if he pulls this out, I mean, the anxiety he feels from finally being challenged. I mean, I don't think this guy definitely is acting like he's not had a competitive race in at least a decade, probably longer.
2000 was the last time he had a serious primary.
Yes, that makes total sense. And of course, a couple of weeks ago, he was caught on mic at a George Floyd rally, basically saying like, "Hey, I need to get up here and speak. I wouldn't normally care, but I've got a primary challenge." He said that twice. So this is Eliot Engel, and now he's going to try a very bizarre attack in this debate on Jamaal Bowman. Jamaal Bowman, of course, is a school principal in the district that he's seeking to unseat Engel in. Engel hasn't faced a real challenge since he was elected to the House in 2000. Check out this exchange.
I'd like to ask Mr. Bowman, where has he been? When we had community night outs every single year, when we're fighting against flooding in Westchester, when we're fighting about crime or about anything in schools, where's he been? He's been with his school. And by the way, I hear that school didn't have such good ratings. And I heard that the parents, the school, made him resign because he was using his kids to do political campaign work for him. I heard that from a number of people.
Pause I'm sorry, not to divert this here, and we will definitely play the rest of the clip. Eliot Engel sounds exactly like my impression of Sam. Like, exactly like my impression of Sam.
I was just thinking that.
That's incredible. I heard that your school didn't rank very well. Okay, sorry. Go ahead, play it.
Living glass houses should throw stones.
So I think we got a question out of that, Mr. Bowman.
That is completely absurd. I'm sorry, that last part of what he said was completely absurd. Congressman Engel, I haven't just served as a middle school principal, which I'm incredibly proud of. I didn't just open up my own public community school in the Northeast Bronx, which is in your district. We did other things beyond the school. So we partnered with Montefiore Medical Center to build the healthcare attachment to the school. We're breaking ground on that this summer, and we're very proud of that. We've worked with the Alliance for Quality Education to increase funding for New York State schools to record numbers. We worked with the Coalition of Education Justice to bring culturally responsive curriculum to our schools. We worked with one of your colleagues, Jamaal Bailey, so he can fight for trauma-informed schools on the Senate floor. And Jamaal Bailey evoked my name on the Senate floor at the state level when he pushed the bill to bring more trauma-informed practices to our schools. I also testified to the Governor Cuomo's Common Core Task Force against the Common Core standards because they were developmentally inappropriate, and it led to a moratorium on tied teacher evaluations to state tests. So Congressman Engel, the reason why you never seen me is because you're not here. You live in Maryland. I'm here. I'm principal of a district of a school in your district, and you not seeing me says more about your absence than my absence.
Okay, that ends our cross-examination. Thank you, candidate.
Wow.
He just bodied him. That was awesome. Also, he didn't even mention it, but he came up. There was a great piece in Jacobin about Bill de Blasio and how self-styled liberal reformers relate to the grassroots. And it started with this piece. The piece started with this group of activists and parents and educators who went to meet de Blasio to talk to him about Common Core and testing. And one of the things that's funny about the piece is like de Blasio actually has the right position on this stuff generally, but still essentially felt annoyed about meeting with community members and meeting with educators, that they should just shut up and let him govern, even though, of course, he's got, let's just say, extremely limited leadership capacity. Anyways, one of the people in the article that was mentioned as a standout was Jamaal Bowman as a principal, making the case. So that's hysterical. And, I think there was another moment, too, where Eliot Engel also said something about a nurses union, which has not endorsed him. The only thing I've ever seen Eliot Engel actually be focused and on the ball about is carrying water for anything the Israeli government wants to do anytime, anywhere, any place, and a keen interest in a coup in Venezuela. And I will also say in the other district that Lopez is running in, it's really important to elect, I would say her specifically, because Sarno, the guy who's retiring, was actually a great congressman and did a lot of work as an example on U.S. interference in Latin America. So in this district, you have an opportunity for a huge upgrade. And in Sarno's district, you have to keep up standards, frankly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Serrano,
has the endorsement of the DSA, so it's pretty cool. I've been following her a little bit. It is amazing just how lazy some of these people have gotten, just coasting on the power of being an incumbent and the Democratic Party establishment. And, it's still a toss-up. Like, the left might not have the institutional power to challenge these jerks. But, I mean, it's good that they're trying. And if I could talk about politics on the level of just, like, appearances and vibes for a minute, because that's how a lot of people understand it, Jamaal Bowman has what I would call a non-toxic masculinity about him that I think will be hopefully appealing to voters, right? Masculinity gets a bad rap. People think, oh, you feminists, you hate masculinity. No, non-toxic masculinity is good, and it's fine, because real men, they do what he does. They listen to their students. They listen to the needs of the students and of the educators, and then they carry that message forward in like a really strong, cool way. So props to him.
I think he's got enormous capacity for leadership.